TDs, Deputy Harrington, and any others who are here, councillors also, of course, Father Thornton, Father Cormac, Dean Peters, and indeed representatives of the Irish Coast Guard, the RNLI, the MSO, all of the fishing representative bodies, and I see many of you here, Sean and Francis and others. Of course, BIM, through its chairman here, but also many others in BIM, like Jason and others. Civil Defence, the Irish Naval Service represented here, who were, of course, central to operations here 18 months ago. The Garda Síochána, those of you from my department, and indeed Minister Varadkar's department, community and voluntary groups. I see the Search and Rescue Unit, the Dog Search and Rescue Unit here, who also I have met on a number of occasions, unfortunately, many of them tragic, and other church leaders. I think that covers most people, but if I've missed anybody, my apologies. But mainly, actually, the community here in Union Hall, people like Bill Deasy and his family and others who have been so instrumental, actually, in providing strength in this community when it was badly needed 18 months ago. The first thing I want to say is that I hope today will mark a change in how we view safety at sea in the fishing industry. We have people here like John Leach and others who are committing their working lives now to trying to change attitudes across the marine sectors, whether it's leisure, whether it's fishing, or other commercial activity. And it is fantastic to be in Union Hall on a commercial fishing pier, looking out on a sunny day in the middle of the summer at people sailing, enjoying everything that is good about the marine. When for many of us, the last time we were here was so different. It was cold, it was windy, it was wet. There were many tears and many hugs for people. And we had a community trying to keep people together at a time of real strife and trauma and agony and waiting for so many people. So I think it is appropriate that we're here and that we're here in the sunshine to focus on the positives for the future in terms of this industry, which is going to be transformed in the next 5 to 10 years through a new common fisheries policy, and transformed for the better. It will involve change. That change will be challenging, but together, as an industry and as a government, we will bring about that change to ensure that we have a sustainable, growing fishing industry. And what this is about today, along with that change, is that we want to make sure that that happens in a safe manner. Because unfortunately, we have seen so much tragedy, even in the short time that I've been minister. Whether it's been in Skerries, whether it's been in Clare, whether it's been in Castletown, whether it's been here, most recently in Passage East, in Waterford, where we had one of the saddest funerals I've ever been at, 3 brothers laid out next to each other. We can avoid much of this. And today is about adding to what is already being done, which clearly is not enough, to ensure that Ireland's approach to safety at sea, particularly in the fishing industry, because this is where the primary problem is addressed. And we are taking important steps today to advance that agenda. We are introducing a grant aid package to ensure that there is no longer any excuse for owners of fishing boats, or indeed for deckhands on boats, not to have personal location devices if they fall into the water, worn on life jackets, which must be worn, and we need to change attitudes on that. At the moment, only about 50% of fishermen are wearing life jackets. It's not acceptable, and we need to change it together. But if they fall into the water, not only do we need to keep them afloat, but we need to get the emergency services there as quickly as possible. And unfortunately, many lives have been lost by fishermen who have all the gear in terms of life jackets. And even in the case of the recent Waterford tragedy, they even had an EPIRB on board, but it didn't work for whatever reason. So we need to ensure that you, the fishing industry, and the families of fishermen don't have needless agony in your lives in the future, and that we learn from lessons and reports that have been done on the back of those tragedies to ensure that we do what's possible in terms of using technology and financially supporting that use of technology by fishermen, and in time introducing a mandatory requirement on fishermen to use this technology and to ensure that all of their crew use it also.